what's your view on Airwallex and the payments market in Asia? How do you see payments market changing over the next 5 years? I mean, personally, when I look at Asia, we're actually sort of so non-homogeneous, right? Can we as a region actually compete with the US, which is obviously a lot
Yeah.
easier market to um, talk about payments or execute payments?
Yeah. What's funny is that when it comes to mobile banking, mobile payments, one of the biggest hurdles and impediments is just our habits and our tradition. So what's been found in a lot of developing markets, even places like Africa, is that like people who've never been exposed to, for example, let's say if they've never had a brick and mortar bank account, they're more likely to accept using their phone as their bank. Whereas people in developed markets where they just feel like a bank needs to have some physical presence that they feel comfortable walking into, and like they've been slower to adopt a lot of things. So actually, people in newer markets can actually leapfrog and in terms of adoption, and we've actually seen that with payments, like and especially in e-commerce, like China probably is in China, like I think South Korea are some of like the highest in terms of like digital payments. I mean, in China now, you look like an idiot if you pull out cash, basically, and I don't even like you can barely use it anymore. And it's like, and it's funny because you think, wait a second, aren't a lot of these people coming from like a less, China obviously is a huge chunk of it's fully developed, but there's also still a lot that isn't, right? But it's actually because these people are just rapidly developed, right? The economy's rapidly changed, their lives rapidly changed. They're ready to just try new things very quickly. Whereas convincing people that have just been using traditional banks and cash for traditional payments for so long in Europe or US, it's actually harder to shift them to these things. So I think Southeast Asia has actually been it can leapfrog quite a bit. It hasn't moved as quick as China, but why I think Southeast Asia now is going to really have a huge uptick in removing cash is that, of course, COVID, that's been a big thing, but the other one is that the Chinese companies, as we said before, the big Chinese tech companies, they're all here and they're all driving their businesses. And again, the research we've done is that the number one way to drive digital growth in e-commerce and banking and all the stuff that the tech companies want us to be doing is to first get us onto that on-ramp, which is mobile payment. Okay, so if you look at in China, if you look at the graph of e-commerce penetration, basically people shifting, brick and mortar to e-commerce, and you look at the graph of mobile payments, you see that once mobile payments take off, e-commerce just goes like that. So the companies, I'm pretty sure we're not alone in knowing that. We've studied their Chinese companies that see it. They know that too. And that's why in Southeast Asia, there's going to be a huge push already is to get people using mobile payments. It's kind of like they're going to take the playbook they did in China and they're doing it here. And that's why I think we're going to see a lot happening. And it's already starting in Southeast Asia in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Great. Well, moving on to sort of the slightly more